Hi Stampers, it's Nancy Novak from StampinShout.com, and today I want to show you some cards that I made using the Floral Phrases stamp set and the Thinlits. So it comes with 3 pieces, and I'll show you exactly what we're going to make and how I made it. So I made a few wedding cards. So this one I have just the bottom piece of the Thinlit that I used. And here's one where I used both pieces of the Thinlit. Now you may have seen this a lot on Pinterest, but where I got my inspiration for this was actually I was looking through a very old Stampin' Success magazine. It's back from March and April of 15. I was looking through it and I came across this, and that was it. That's where I got my inspiration. I thought I would do the bottom piece in the cutout and the top piece in the solid. And then this, I don't know if you can see it, it's white on white, but it says hello. And this was the first card that I made. So I did it in different colors, but I did it in a lot of different colors actually. I really like playing with all the different colors and seeing what it's going to turn out to be like. This one is Whisper White on the very vanilla, and it's using the 2 pieces. This is similar to the one that they have in the catalog right now. But again, this is the one I want to make today, but we're going to do something different up here. So let's get started. And the pieces we're going to use are Whisper White, which is your card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then we're going to have a pink Pirouette Matte, that's 5 1/4 by 4, and Blackberry Bliss, that is 5 inches by 3 3/4. And then these are going to be our cutting pieces, and they're both cut to 3 3/4, and they're different lengths. They're about at least 3.5 inches. You don't need one this big for what we're going to do. You need it about 3 3/4 by 3 1/4, 3.5 inches, just so the framelit will fit on it. So let me bring in my Big Shot and we'll cut the first piece. So I'm bringing in the Big Shot, and I'm using the precision base because this is very delicate piece of, the die cut. It's got a lot of detail to it. So we're going to use that piece and that piece. And I'm going to use pink Pirouette. Just going to line it up at the bottom with the straight edge. And I'm going to this is meant for about 4 inches. Again, this is 3 3/4, so I'm just going to center it on here. And then I'm going to put the cutting piece on, which will cut the top part off. And then I'm going to layer it and throw it through the Big Shot. Okay. And before I take that die off, I'm actually going to bring in my die brush and platform and kind of get rid of some of those extra pieces there. You can do it when you take this Thinlit off, but it kind of gives it a little bit more support. So let me get rid of all those little pieces. Again, you can keep giving it a brushing afterwards. It'll knock out some of those pieces. There's always a couple of stragglers, so I usually take my little snips and kind of poke them out. Okay, so I'll work on that. Then what we're going to do, so we're going to bring the Big Shot back in. And this piece here, the white piece that's at the top, I ran it through the polka dot embossing folder. And all you want to do when you run that through is you want to make sure that you can feel the dots, that they're up, and that's how you know you're going to have it going the right way. And so now it's got the dots on there and it's raised where I can feel it. And so all I want to do here is to take the cutting piece and layer it at the bottom, near the bottom, I'm actually going to bring this in just to make sure I have it centered nicely. I do. So you just want to have it kind of close. And then we're going to layer it and throw that through the Big Shot. And so see it cut that top piece, or that piece off right there. So I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm bringing my Big Shot into the picture and I'm using it so you can see how I use it. And I have a new camera mount, so it shouldn't shake the screen too much. And I still have some pieces here that I'm poking out. Okay, so I got all those little pieces out. And what I suggest is when you do use the precision plate, you should at least run it through twice, back and forth. And I think I forgot to do it this time. It'll really help get all those loose pieces out of there. Okay, so now what we're going to do, so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. But we're going to do a couple other things first. I want to stamp my sentiment, and I'm using Wedding Wishes, and I'm using Blackberry Bliss. So I'm just going to stamp that on a scrap piece of Whisper White. And then I am going to use my scalloped punch, oval punch. So there are a lot of different ways you can do the sentiment up at the top. You can do circles, you can do squares, whatever you like. And then I'm bringing in a piece of Blackberry Bliss scrap paper, and I'm going to cut a little bit larger oval, and I'll layer the two of those together. So let's see, just put some snail on there and center that, and we'll put a couple of dimensionals on the back. And we'll put that aside and we'll come back to it. And now let's assemble the card. So the first thing I want to do is put my pink Pirouette mat down on the Whisper White. Just center it. And we're going to work on this piece. I'm going to put the white, this one will fit exactly on here, so I'm going to snail this piece on. And for these fine little edges, I'm going to use the fine tip glue pen, just down here at the bottom. I love this fine tip glue pen. As you see, we're going to use it a lot on the next piece. So we're going to layer that right up at the, whoa, sorry, I want to do this piece first. Sorry about that. I want to do this piece first because when I lay this one down, I'm actually going to cut the top part of it off because I did not have this cut perfect. So let's bring that back later. So what we're going to do is on the back side of this, all over we're going to put our fine tip glue pen. Make sure you get the edges. So while I'm doing this, make sure you go over to my blog. I'm going to have all the supplies listed for this card. I always have them listed, and then I have clickable links. That way if you want to buy something, you just click on the link and it'll take you right to my online store. It's real easy, real safe. And again, if you have any questions, if you have trouble ordering, or you not sure what you need to make a certain card, or you want to do something different, we can talk about it. Give me a call, you can email me. There we go, I got that pretty good. So I got the straight edge at the bottom, and this is going to line right up on this 3 3/4 inch piece of Blackberry Bliss. Isn't that pretty? I love those colors together. This might be my new favorite. I have a lot of weddings that I'm going to this fall. Excited. I get to dance. like to dance. So my friends are also going to weddings, so I'm making wedding cards for them. So I have to make different wedding cards. We can't all give them the same card. Okay, so now I'm bringing in this piece, which I'm going to line up on the bottom here. And then I'm just going to trim the edges as needed. I have that snail on here. Okay, and then I turn it over and I'm just going to trim this edge off. I could cut it exact, but I don't know, I just like to do it this way. It's real easy. Trim a little bit more here. Okay, now we're going to attach this to our card base. Almost done. Center it like that. And then we'll bring in the piece that we stamped earlier and center that. I think I got a smudge on here. Let me bring a new piece in. Put some dimensionals on the back of this one. Okay, and I'll center that. And the last thing I want to do is bring in some rhinestones. What do you think? Pretty? I like those colors. So I'm going to bring in some rhinestones. Just put a couple here and there on the bottom. I'm using the medium-sized rhinestones that come in the set. I'll put it down here. So anyways, that's about it. It's easy. I hope you like it. If you do, subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Hang on, I got one more I want to put down here. So there you go. Let me bring in the other ones. I think on the inside of this I'm going to put the sentiment. It says, "May your love grow stronger, deeper, and more beautiful with every passing year." Isn't that pretty? So this is a beautiful set. So here we go. All the different cards I made with the different colors. Which one do you like? This one's really pretty too. They're all pretty. So anyway, thanks for visiting, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.